Here we are again, in bed, unable to sleep with your tinnitus screaming. You're looking through Reddit or TikTok looking for anything that might help, and you find it, a post with thousands of upvotes claiming apple cider vinegar cured someone's tinnitus in 3 weeks, or a viral video showing this weird finger tapping trick that silenced tinnitus instantly, or dozens of comments swearing that Ginkgo biloba supplements work. So you order those supplements, you buy the vinegar, you tap your head 50 times a day. You're desperate for relief, and honestly, I get it. But what if I told you that every single one of these treatments has been studied and the research shows that they don't work, not the way people claim they do? I'm Dr. Lane Garrett, founder of Timpanogos Hearing and Tinnitus here in Utah, and I've been treating tinnitus patients for over 20 years. And what drives me crazy is watching people waste months, sometimes years, on treatments that were never going to help them, when we have actual evidence-based options that can make a real difference. And today I'm going to show you exactly what the research says about these 3 crazy popular cures and why they keep getting recommended despite the fact that they just don't work, and what you should do instead. Maybe you're thinking, but I've seen hundreds of people online say that these things worked for them. Have you though? Or have you been reading testimonials from people who are either experiencing the placebo effect, the natural fluctuation in their tinnitus, or who tried multiple things at once and credited the wrong one? You tell yourself, maybe I just need to give it more time. 6 weeks becomes 3 months. The supplements run out, so you reorder. You've been drinking that apple cider vinegar every morning, even though it makes you gag. You tap your skull whenever your tinnitus spikes, and you get a few seconds of quiet before the tinnitus comes roaring back. The ringing is still there. And now you're not just exhausted from the tinnitus, you're exhausted from hoping. What if that's not patience, though? That's false hope that's keeping you stuck. What if you could actually address what's causing your tinnitus instead of throwing random treatments at it and praying that it sticks? That kind of relief is real, but you're not going to find it by tapping your head 50 times a day. Let me start with the big one, Ginkgo biloba supplements. Walk into any health food store and you'll see bottles claiming to treat tinnitus. It's probably the most commonly recommended supplement for tinnitus worldwide. And the research says it does not work. A 2022 Cochrane review, which is the gold standard of medical evidence, looked at all of the quality studies on Ginkgo for tinnitus. Their conclusion? Uncertainty about the benefits and harms. In plain English, they could not find any convincing evidence that it helps. The American Academy of Otolaryngology clinical practice guidelines for tinnitus specifically recommend against using Ginkgo biloba for tinnitus. Same with the European tinnitus guidelines. They all say there's no proven efficacy or potential for harm. A 2016 worldwide survey of dietary supplements for tinnitus found that 70% of people reported no effect, 19% reported improvement, and 10% said their tinnitus got worse. And when did they find that improvement? The effects were tiny, not really meaningful. Now, some people will say, but what about the EGB 761? I read that specific extract works. There were a few older studies showing modest effects for that particular standardized extract, but when you dig into those studies, the improvements were small. Not everyone responded, and multiple subsequent reviews found the evidence unconvincing. And here's what nobody tells you. Ginkgo biloba interacts with blood thinners and increases your bleeding risk. People have ended up with serious bleeding complications. So you're taking something with potential negative side effects that doesn't help with your tinnitus. So why do people keep recommending it? Because it's been around forever, because it's natural, because health food stores make money selling it, and because when you're desperate and someone says this might help, you'll try anything. I had a patient last year who came in with a bag full of supplements, Ginkgo, zinc, magnesium, 3 different brands of each one. She'd spent over $400. When I asked if anything had changed, she just shook her head. I just want it to stop, she said. And that's what breaks my heart. Not that people try these things, but they spend months and hundreds or thousands of dollars on them when nobody ever evaluated what was actually causing their tinnitus in the first place. If this video is helping cut through some of the noise about tinnitus, hit like so more people can stop chasing these crazy cures. And subscribe to our channel if you want real tinnitus information based on research, not trends. Now let's talk about apple cider vinegar. This one drives me especially nuts because there's literally zero research supporting it for tinnitus. None. You'll find dozens of blog posts and forum threads where people claimed it cured their tinnitus, but actual scientific studies, well, they don't exist. The theory people throw around is that apple cider vinegar alkalizes the body, or eliminates underlying fungal infections that cause the tinnitus, which sounds plausible until you understand that your body tightly regulates its pH levels regardless of what you drink. And tinnitus is not caused by fungal infections in the first place. What you actually see in these testimonials is something called the placebo effect combined with natural tinnitus fluctuation. See, tinnitus fluctuates naturally. It gets louder on some days and quieter on others. When you start any new treatment and your tinnitus happens to quiet down, you credit the treatment. Never mind that it might have quieted anyway, or that you also got better sleep that week, or you reduced your stress, or stopped taking a medication that was making it worse. And when people discover that apple cider vinegar doesn't work, they don't post about it. You only see the supposed success stories, creating this illusion that everyone says that it works. Some people put drops of apple cider vinegar diluted in their ears. Please, don't do this. At best, it does nothing. At worst, you're putting acid in your ear canal that could irritate the skin or damage your eardrum if it's perforated. Now, the third one, the Reddit cure that went viral. You cover your ears with your palm and tap the back of your skull 40 to 50 times. People claim it resets your brain and makes tinnitus disappear. Let me tell you what actually happens. When you tap your skull while covering your ears, you create a drumming sound that temporarily masks your tinnitus. That's it. You're not resetting anything. You're not rewiring your brain. You're creating a competing sound that distracts you from the tinnitus for a few seconds. Harvard researcher Dan Pauly told Vice that it's basically a manual version of a sound masker. You're generating vibrations to your cochlea that temporarily suppress the tinnitus perception, and then it comes right back. Multiple experts have confirmed this provides temporary relief measured in seconds, maybe minutes, but calling it a cure is completely misleading. And people end up doing this technique 20 times a day, getting brief moments of quiet, convincing themselves it's working, but it's not. The only scenario where this might have lasting benefit is if you have something called somatic tinnitus, where tight muscles in your neck or your jaw are contributing to your tinnitus. The tapping might relax those suboccipital muscles, but if that's your situation, you need actual treatment for the muscle tension, physical therapy, TMJ work, and proper posture correction, not just tapping your head 50 times a day forever. I've had patients come in who've been doing this religiously for months, and their tinnitus is not improving, and they are just tired. And when I ask if anyone's actually evaluated what type of tinnitus they have or what might be causing it, the answer is always no. So what's the actual harm here? You might think, well, if someone wants to try apple cider vinegar or tap their head, what's the harm in that? The damage here is time, and it's hope. And it's the opportunity cost of not getting real treatment when you chase internet miracles. It's the 6 months that you spent taking Ginkgo biloba while your hearing loss that's actually driving your tinnitus went untreated. And in that time, your brain has adapted to the reduced sound input, making the problem even harder to fix. It's also the money you spent on supplements that could have gone towards a proper tinnitus evaluation with someone who actually knows what they're doing. And it's the exhaustion of constantly trying new things, getting your hopes up, having them crushed, and starting all over with the next viral cure. And then it's the false belief that you've tried everything, when actually you haven't tried anything evidence-based at all. So you give up thinking there's no help, when real treatment options do exist. That's what makes me so frustrated when I see these treatments promoted online. Not that people are trying them, I understand the desperation, but that they're being sold as cures when the research clearly shows they're not. So if these things don't work, what does? First, get a proper evaluation from a tinnitus expert to figure out what type of tinnitus you have and what's causing it. Is it hearing loss, TMJ problems, medication side effects, pulsatile tinnitus that needs a medical workup? You can't treat tinnitus effectively without knowing what's causing it. If it's related to hearing loss, which it is in 80 to 90% of cases, properly fitted hearing aids with real ear verifications can provide significant relief. Research shows that about 75% of people get meaningful benefit when this is done correctly. For bothersome tinnitus that's affecting your quality of life, comprehensive treatment also could include cognitive behavioral therapy, sound therapy, lifestyle modifications, and potentially bimodal neuromodulation therapy like linear. That's how our clinic gets to about 90% success rates. And if you have somatic tinnitus, addressing the underlying muscle tension or jaw problems that are triggering it, working with physical therapists and TMJ specialists, and not just tapping your head. I know these treatments aren't sexy viral videos. They require actual professional evaluation and often several approaches working together. But it is based on research, not Reddit posts. And they actually work. We don't sell supplements in our clinic. We don't sell miracle gadgets. And we don't promise cures. What we do is evaluate what's actually causing your tinnitus and treat that, because that's the only approach that's going to make a real difference. So the bottom line is this: Ginkgo biloba does not have evidence supporting it, and it can cause bleeding complications. Apple cider vinegar has zero research backing it up. It's pure placebo and natural fluctuation. And the finger drumming provides a few seconds of temporary masking. It's not any kind of cure. I wish there were instant cures for tinnitus. I really do. If there were, I wouldn't be filming this video. I'd be using those all the time. But the fact is there aren't. What there is, though, is proper evaluation, evidence-based treatment, and real results for people who stop chasing these viral miracles and start addressing what's actually causing their tinnitus. Tinnitus is frustrating. I see it all the time in my clinic. But it's not hopeless, and it's not something you have to learn to live with. Tell me in the comments, have you tried any of these things? Ginkgo, apple cider vinegar, the tapping trick, anything else? And be honest, did it make an actual difference? If you want deeper evidence-based guidance, I've built a free learning center online that walks through what actually works and why. The link to that can be found in the description. And if you're here in Utah and want a proper tinnitus evaluation from a team that specializes in this, that's not going to sell you supplements or gimmicks, you can schedule with us. A link is found below as well. The internet will keep selling hope. I'd rather give you answers. Thanks for watching.